Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, or whatever you identify as. I stole that from another podcast because I liked it. If you know which one, leave a comment down below. It's a show where we know how to pronounce the word melee. We would never use a term like big meaty men slapping meat. Well, I guess except for that time. And we know that how to pronounce Lafayette, Indiana, and it's not Lala Nanny. It's the Monkey Flip Podcast. Yay. Yay. It's good to have everybody back. We got me and Sheila over here. Back today for the first time in a little bit is Hammer over here.
That'd be me.
Yeah. We're still missing one member of the group. Hoping that he's doing well. He had a health thing that he did not too long ago, and I don't think that's why he's not here. I think it's a work engagement that's keeping him sidelined. But hoping he comes back soon. Then we get to figure out how we incorporate another person into this new setup that we've got. Let's go right into it. I'm gonna go into AEW. Like, did you have the opportunity to see the AEW Buy In that they did to do a Smackdown? What'd you think of that?
Well, I thought I haven't watched that Suzuki dude.
Yeah, Minoru Suzuki.
I haven't seen him a whole lot, but they hyped that matchup so much, and we talked about it earlier, but styles make matchups, I guess, in every sporting event, and wrestling isn't no different. I think their styles together just didn't go well. It seemed a little slow to me. It's more of that strong style. Now I see him and Nakamura. I could see them putting on a good match. Is that his name?
Shinsuke Nakamura?
Yeah. I could see them putting on a good match because they're more of the same style.
Brian Danielson.
Yeah, him. He can't. It didn't look like he could do what he normally does in the ring with that guy. And that may just be me because I'm not used to that Japan-style wrestling, but I just didn't care for it. I think they overhyped it, and in my opinion, it didn't deliver to me.
Yeah, I think it might go along with the thing that I've been saying about the casual fan. Not saying that you're a casual fan, just saying what it feels like that they did. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the match wholeheartedly, but I've seen Minoru Suzuki matches before, and I've seen him in New Japan where this seems like the typical Suzuki match where it's almost a shoot fight. I mean, it looks that tight, and I'm sure that it doesn't only look tight, that sometimes it's more than tight. But I think that what failed for me, the only thing that failed in it for me was it seems like you take an established Japanese wrestler with his culture and everything, bring him over to the States, throw him in, and just expect that everyone knows that culture and knows the backstory of Minoru Suzuki. And that makes a different match. Like you were saying about the styles making the matches. Daniel Bryan's not wrestling a Daniel Bryan match as much as Daniel Bryan is proving that he can wrestle a Minoru Suzuki match.
Right.
And that's cool because it's just, if you look at it from the beginning and you keep track of it, they were just beating the shit out of each other. And good. But when you're talking about the casual fan, there's no hype for Minoru Suzuki other than saying it's Minoru Suzuki. They gave it a little bit with the John Moxley stuff, but not really much. They just said he's coming in. And if you notice with John Moxley, it was kind of the same. They got in and they
it was, but I thought that was better. Well, Moxley's a lot more of that style though.
Yeah,
than
he can do the slower selling the punches stuff. Daniel Bryan can do anything. Don't get me wrong. It just what we're used to seeing from him we didn't see. Now I really liked it, and I think it was a much better match than whatever was happening on Smackdown at that time because I had it muted in the background just so I can look up to see what's going on.
I believe it was Street Profits versus Usos.
Yeah, so I think it was a much better match than that. So I think it did what it was supposed to do.
The crowd was into it.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact it's free. Was there anything else about that night that you liked, didn't like?
The only other thing about it that I didn't like, I believe it was a match right before that. Bobby Fish, and I don't know the dude he was wrestling. But
who was Bobby Fish wrestling?
But I don't think I ever seen him before, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. Could have been somebody from Dark.
And it was also Bobby Fish's first win, so it's telling me it was a nobody. Basically.
Well, yeah, Bobby Fish. I mean, he just recently jumped from NXT over to AEW or others. I don't
Did you see that match?
Signed. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Well, his finisher is that just a Daniel Bryan kick to the head.
Yeah.
But to set it up, it was almost like a belly to back suplex, I guess, kind of maybe.
Yeah.
And he just threw him into the ropes, and he kind of just bounced off the ropes, landed on his head.
Oh, kind of like the exploder type thing.
Yeah, but very slow and very pointless, in my opinion. It didn't look like it was doing anything, which is the number one goal. Well, besides being safe, it didn't look like it did anything to him anyway. It just seemed like a pointless move to me that you're putting danger there where it didn't need to be, and you're getting nothing out of it.
It's kind of an illusion move where it looks like you're dropping him on his head, but the momentum is going into the ropes, and he's going to come back on his face.
Slow because it has to be.
Yeah.
So I could have done without that. You could have done anything that would have put him in that same position.
He could have just went and did the kick.
Yeah, he was already down. He picked him up to do that.
Yeah, I see that actually more nowadays because, I think on NXT, Ridge Holland started to try to do a new thing where he was body slamming a guy with his legs landing on the ropes. I'm like, that's just I don't understand that.
Right.
First of all, it's no more damaging on face level than it would be a normal body slam, and secondly, it's more dangerous because you can't use your feet to spread out the impact on the mat. Not more dangerous to an actual human being in a combat situation, more dangerous to a wrestler who's trying to spread out the impact across the mat. I'm going to give you the secret. Here's the secret. When people say you know how to fall, it's bullshit. You don't know how to fall. You just know how to spread that impact around the most of your body. It's like a punch hurts more than a slap. Slap is more surface area and there's left behind it. A punch hurts more because it's less surface area. It's more concentrated. That's the secret when people say you guys know how to fall, which is horseshit because you can't fool gravity. But there you go. So, yeah, Ridge Holland tries to do that thing where he body slams a guy with his feet in his rope. I haven't seen him do it again, so I don't know if he was like,
the word's gotten back to him. Like
maybe somebody who was a little more up said, you know what, that just doesn't fucking make any sense. Let's do it. I wish that person would get to Karrion Kross with the whole fucking sleeper with a hand on his own head because it doesn't make any fucking sense and it's just goofy. But however they did that, it's fine.
There was one more thing that I noticed about that AEW show last night.
What's that?
There's a lot of, and this is something that goes back to way back when we started. Yeah. And I think you might have told me this a long time ago. You got somebody on the mat, your goal is to pin them.
Yeah.
Why would you pick them up to do another move to them when they're already down there? That happens a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's even worse. The move, when you see the move that you use to get them on the ground is so devastating. And then you pick them up to do a suplex on your knee.
Right.
Like, okay, so you did brainbuster off the top rope, and then you got him up, and then you did like a Falcon Arrow to pin him. Like, what?
Right.
You did a brainbuster off the top rope. Why are you doing a Falcon Arrow? What? That's a Falcon joke. Don't use that Falcon move. Figure out, just pin the Falcon guy. What the hell? So, yeah. Like,
that was Falcon right there.
I remember, I think it was Dynamite when the Elite were in the ring and they picked Luchasaurus up. Three of the guys, Cole and the Bucks, picked Luchasaurus up, put him on Kenny's shoulders, and Kenny was not ready for it or anything, and they just fell straight down and barely did anything. And they all just looked at each other like, what the fuck just happened? And everyone was like, oh, I don't know. What do we do? Cheer? And the crowd was like, boo? Because they weren't used to it, and they were just standing there. And I was like, okay, what's going on? And I thought, okay, that's messed up. If shit happens, we know that. But the cool thing about that is they did a Being the Elite, their little web series they did, and the first section of it was them making fun of themselves for that happening.
Instead of just ignoring it like it didn't happen.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. What about you? What do you think about anything you've seen like since the last time we did one with? We're on AEW topic. Let's stay on AEW. What do you think?
Well, there was a match where at the end of it, the men of the year were beating up on Sammy and then Fuego.
Fuego del Sol, not in Fuego, but Fuego del Sol.
Fuego del Sol ran out to help Sammy, even though there were like 6 people in the ring. That one extra guy is not going to help any. But JR was announcing, and he said, as usual, JR was announcing. I don't know why I said that.
It's okay.
but he said that if they had done that attack outside of the arena, that they would be going to jail. But they kept hitting the point that the men of the year weren't supposed to be in the arena. And I was like, why would they not send those people to jail anyway if they're not supposed to be there and they're kicking the crap out of a contractor / employee of the company? Why would you not just call the police? Like, those people need to be in jail.
You mean logic? Throwing logic into it?
Yes, I was trying to throw logic.
Logically, though, even if you say I'm going to beat your ass, that's a threat. You can go to jail for that no matter what. So everything you do in the ring, you'll go to jail for outside the ring. So he could have just left that out completely.
Yeah, making a terroristic threat. I think that's actionable, yeah.
I mean, I've seen the UFC guys threaten each other too, and those are, in my opinion, very real threats for some of them. Not death, but
I'm going to get in there and I'm going to beat your ass. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to ruin your career. I'm going to ruin this upward momentum that you're on. I believe Goldberg said at one point, "I'm going to literally kill you." Are we not supposed to take that literally? He said the word literally.
He did.
God forbid Bobby Lashley get murdered, because Goldberg going to jail.
Yeah.
That's the way that shit goes.
I agree.
Yeah, he said literally kill you, not figuratively kill you. Like Lashley comes back and he's saying, "I'm gonna end your career." Which let's do that.
Please, let's do that.
Goldberg and a few others right now are like that old family Christmas tree that you bring out once a year. You hate doing it, but it's a tradition, and people would get on you if you didn't. And then when you're done, you got to do a bunch of cleanup because they're fucking gone. Let's just not have it. Let's just throw the Christmas tree right away. Get another. Let's remember the Christmas tree fondly and let it go. So yeah, it's a terroristic threat. Why isn't Rollins in jail? He did a B&E.
Yeah, on television.
Yeah, he did a B&E. I mean, I think we discussed it again. I don't think Beth was in any. Beth would kick Seth Rollins' ass.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he also stole from her too, didn't he? Like still have her wardrobe to wear to the ring.
No, that's his own wife.
Oh, no. He's talking about that suit.
That
suit. Crazy suit. I think he stole a couple of tablecloths and tied them together to make his suit for the next week.
I don't know. I just see Beth's sense of style to be better than that. I don't think those were tablecloths from the Copeland's house.
It's hard to believe that he paid a tailor for that suit, and the tailor was like, "Is this a rib?" But I don't know. And then he was like, "I'll sew this together." And there you go.
Maybe it's Christians. He wore some flamboyant shit back in the day. Maybe he's holding on to Christian shit for him.
Who knows?
Until he comes back.
I don't know. I would like some. I would like some credit for remembering that Edge's real last name is Copeland. By the way,
Adam Copeland. Okay, yeah, that's his name.
Sounds like an announcer, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What?
It's like, wait, welcome to Sunday Night Baseball. I'm your host, Adam Copeland.
Does that not just roll off the tongue perfectly?
With me is legend Terry Bollea. Oh, there was other death threats. I have a list in front of me, I guess. What was the death threat last night? Was there a death threat last night?
I think that you're referring to the Usos versus the New Day, which was actually like a week ago.
A week? Okay. What was it? What happened? Did they just say, "I'm going to kill you"?
Yeah, they just kept.
You're going to die.
They just keep saying that they're going to kill people.
We're going to kill you. Not we're going to kill it. We're going to kill you. We're not.
Yeah.
Not about competition. It's about murder. Yeah, the Usos threatened the New Day, and Goldberg threatened Lashley. Okay. Well, Goldberg threatened Lashley. We've all seen that. If you don't want your kid to get caught in a full Nelson, maybe don't bring him to the show. Maybe advise him against getting in the ring against a guy who could literally eat him. So if you're going to use literally, I'll use literally. He could literally eat him, and it would just be a carb load. Cool. Not a carb load. Protein load.
Yeah.
It'd be
Oh, no. That is unfortunate wording.
Sorry.
I have a feeling that's probably going to get edited.
I'm probably going to edit that out. As a matter of fact, I'm probably just going to cut to this comment that I have edited part of the show out that was not fit for, I want to say, consumption. I don't think that's good either. That's kind of what we're talking about. So I don't know. Let's. Is
this a Subway commercial?
Hey, the AEW has announced the TBS title.
Yes.
And it's for women.
Great segue.
So the women's going to be TBS title. That's what's. Yeah. Well, what does everybody think about that one? Well, my first thought is I want to say, what's everybody think about that one? And then I'm going to go into my first thought, right? How rude. Does anybody have any thoughts on the TBS title?
I do, but it's because it's so much bigger than the women's title belt. Like, because they've decided to make this one one of the women's championship belts. It is sizably more. It's more sizable.
It's sizably more sizable? Is that what
you're
doing?
I meant to say it's more sizable, and I fucked up, so.
It's sizably more.
It is more sizable than the original women's title for AEW.
A layperson might have just used
bigger.
That's what you get when you get a Master's of Business Administration.
Ching, ching. No, that was me saying that we spent a lot of money on my education, so I'm like,
that should be the university at this point. I say that we should collect all this stuff, put it up, and pose it to them, see if I can get a discount. But she doesn't like it when I say that. Why can't I just
say more sizable? More sizable. It is larger. Fine.
Larger will work.
The TBS Women's Championship belt is larger than the current Women's Championship belt.
Much more girthy.
No, you started that over like I was going to cut that all that other stuff out. I'm not going to cut all that other stuff out. It's going to stay because it's the most entertaining thing we've probably done on the show. So there you go. It's going to stay, but it's a nice try. It was pretty cool. Go ahead, keep going. What more about the women's title, the TBS title?
It's nice that they're making them fairly even with the regular title belts for the men. I like that.
Well, it depends on what happens to the TNT title.
Right. I don't know.
Like Rampage is still on TNT, I guess. Is it still going to be a TNT title?
Is it going to stay on TNT?
They can't make another TBS title.
No, I mean, is
Rampage going to stay?
Is Rampage going to stay? Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I would imagine, obviously the Wednesday night issue is sports related most of the time. I don't know whether that's going to be true of
being
Friday too.
Like the basketball preempting and fucking last week's hockey.
Yeah,
hockey. In America, you're going to preempt something for hockey. In Canada, I get it. Which the Canadian people were pissed because TSN, there were 5 different channels and 3 of them played the same exact hockey game and they couldn't watch Rampage. So yeah, I get that. But yeah, maybe TBS gives them the opportunity. TBS used to have baseball. I don't know if they still have baseball or not. But
yeah, Braves.
Baseball
and the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah, baseball in the playoffs probably get a lot of daytime games, so maybe it won't get in as much.
True, you don't have a whole lot of baseball night games, real late night games.
But logic to me dictates that a move from TNT to TBS is a downgrade. But I guess as long as the ratings go and stay the same, what's going to be the difference? Just turn it to
the top 10 networks in the country still. So.
Yeah, Nitro went from TBS to TNT, and that's when they started competing. Feels like a backwards.
But then they went ahead and put Thunder on TBS. So
that's true. So TBS Women's Championship belt. That was me just trying to change the subject. Where do we want to go from there?
You did it very well.
Friday night Smackdown we watched last night. Some of it it hit 10 o'clock, and we were like TBS. It hit 9 o'clock, and I pulled up the YouTube channel and hit mute. Like the 9 o'clock thing started, Seth Rollins was in the ring. I'm like, I've heard this. I know what he's going to say. Mute the YouTube right now. Let's do this.
Was he laughing?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Muted.
Wow. I don't remember him laughing.
He always opens. Well, it's because I had him muted.
I mean, I was watching it though. I wasn't watching what you were watching on YouTube. I was watching because you tell me to watch it and make notes. So I watched it and made notes.
You're right. I'm a slave driver. I'm so sorry.
I was doing what you told me to do.
Yeah, I'm a slave driver. My bad. It was good for me because I had something to watch during the fucking obnoxious commercials on FS1. It was literally 4 minutes of commercials, then 4 minutes of show, and then 4 minutes of commercials.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So they said like the last half hour was commercial free, but that's because they jammed all the commercials into the first 2 hours. It's just bad.
And that was the half hour you didn't pay any attention to?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
And no picture-in-picture. And they were not picking up where the matches were left off.
We love picture-in-picture.
Well, I know, but there was...
It's got to cut to me so I can go. Okay.
But there were some... I didn't understand where some of the commercials were coming in. There was also that weird transaction where Happy Corbin was in the ring and Shinsuke Nakamura and Boogs came out and just played Shinsuke's music around the ring dancing and then went back to the back as the Street Profits came out to wrestle the match. It made no sense.
Boogs and Nakamura didn't have anything to do with the match.
No.
They're just bullies. You notice for babyface, they are some bullies.
Boogs and Nakamura, yeah. Well, that's the same thing I say about New Day. New Day, to me, New Day are not face tag team.
Right.
They're heels. They come out, they goof, they get interfere in matches, and it's just they're heels, but they people love them. So but yeah, the Boogs came out, played his music, they got out, danced with McAfee, ran around out to the back. Street Profits came in, Boogs played a little bit of the Street Profits music, and then they went to commercial because you go to commercial every 2 minutes. And then they started a match with the Usos. So I don't. That's worse than the Carmella thing where they came in, started a match, and didn't have a match.
You're not supposed to talk about women's wrestling.
I'm not supposed to talk about women's wrestling. I apologize. I can only comment if there was. I don't even know if I can do that. But let's give it. I'm not supposed to talk about women's wrestling. I'm sorry. So I can talk about the King of the Ring though.
Yes.
So the King of the Ring tournament. Finn Balor, or Finn and his Balor, as we like to say it. He won a King of the Ring match last night. Who did he? Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
He won against Sami Zayn, and
I would like to just interject right here and say, WWE, thank you very much for not making Sami Zayn King of the Ring, because oh my God, would that have been terrible?
No, it's still going to be terrible because now it's a conspiracy.
I don't care about that. I can ignore him when he does that. But if he's King of the Ring for 4 years like Corbin was, I'm gonna want to drive. I'm gonna want to drive a stake through my head.
It felt like 4 years.
I know it did.
I don't think Happy Corbin is much better.
No.
No, I kind of like you. I like the down in the dumps Corbin. That month or so, I thought that was his best shit.
As McAfee coined it, broke-ass Corbin.
Broke-ass
Corbin was good. It was good stuff. And now it's Happy Corbin is Cameron Grimes light.
But Cameron Grimes does it better, and I think we talked about that. Yeah, I think we talked about that already when it was just me and you. But he does it so much better.
He does.
Just let him do it. I don't do something else with Corbin and just bring Cameron Grimes up, and then just replace all the stuff you were going to do with Happy Corbin with Cameron Grimes. And I'll shut up now. Sorry.
So when does Mahal and Xavier Woods wrestle?
I think that'll be
Monday.
Raw.
Yep.
Raw.
They'll wrestle on Raw.
Who you have winning this whole thing?
I want Xavier Woods to do it. But now that Finn Balor's in the championship with him, I just don't know. But I'm going to save Xavier Woods. I mean, he's underrated, and he needs that. And he has an internet push or a good internet following to get done. And he, to me, it looks like a quintessential professional wrestler. Right. He's got the look. He's got charisma, and he works really well in the ring. So I want Xavier Woods to win, but when you get Finn Balor out there, it kind of complicates things. Or Finn and his Balor, it kind of complicates things.
Well, I think Balor, this is kind of like his blow off from getting screwed from the Cena thing. And
yeah, maybe.
I think they probably had this plan. He was going to win, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe.
I could be wrong. Anybody but Mahal at this point, I'd be okay with.
Yeah.
Well, and I would say this. I agree with your reasoning on Woods because I too think that he should be given more opportunity. I really do think that he is overlooked by the other member or from the no, not by.
He's overshadowed.
Overshadowed by the other people in the New Day, and I do think that he's really good at what he does. So I think that they're going to use the whole Finn Balor went from Prince to King, though. I really think that that's going to be the storyline, and so I think they'll probably move him from that.
That's interesting.
That is a very interesting thing I didn't think about either. What about? I mean, I hate to bring it up. What about the which I think his penis should have a managerial credit.
Yes.
It's out there. It's just out there. You just come. They cut to a wide angle shot from the crowd of him on the stage 30 feet away, and you could still see that it was up and to the right.
Yeah.
Come on, it's right there. It's like come to the ring accompanied by Finn Balor Jr. It's Finn Balor because that's.
Oh, they look about the same size though, don't they?
He's the same height laying down as he is standing up.
It's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to look at. They go up, do the collar and elbow tie up, and I'm like, I want to look at the action, but I want to look at the action. You know what I mean?
So do you think he goes to makeup?
The makeup truck is like, well, little guy is going to be in this match sooner or later, so you might as well just get him a little bit of a touch up right there. Can you hide some of the shadows on the one side?
Are you afraid somebody's going to steal your Lucky Charms, dear?
What? I thought that was good. I mean, the only thing I'm wondering is if that's Irish. I thought I may have went into Scottish and been racially insensitive, but crap. I apologize for my portrayal of an Irish person and not being an Irish person. It's cultural appropriation, and it was wrong.
You don't have Irish in your... I don't remember your 23andMe. You don't have Irish in there?
No, it's all German. Sorry.
Oh.
King of the Ring. We take a look at the King of the Ring so far. Rey Mysterio versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn got the pin in 8 minutes. Finn Balor versus Cesaro. Cesaro and Finn Balor went. Finn Balor got the pin, obviously, at 11 minutes and 25 seconds, which I believe is longer than any like the whole entire Queen of the Ring tournament. But I'm not allowed to say anything about that. Ricochet got pinned by Xavier Woods in 10:55. Kofi got pinned by Jinder 8:55s. You should have had Kofi versus Xavier Woods, you cowards.
That'd be a good match.
Yeah. So and then Sammy 9:12. Sammy got pinned at 9:12 over Finn. So now it's Finn Balor versus whoever wins from Xavier Woods versus Jinder Mahal. Really hope it's Xavier Woods. But Finn Balor in there makes me feel like it might end up being Jinder Mahal. And now that Sheila made an excellent point of going from the Prince to the King, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. So.
Yeah, I was actually kind of... I mean, I know she's already the... which one is she? She's the Raw champ right now. But it kind of surprised me that they didn't have Charlotte, who literally goes to the ring as the queen, wasn't in Queen's Crown. Although, I'm wondering if they'll make it to where she's on the same show as the person that actually wins it. So that's a whole storyline.
Next feud.
Queen's Gambit. Is that what we're going to call that one?
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Okay.
But I can't talk about the women's matches. So we talked about the King of the Ring.
Oh, you want me to talk about Queen's Crown now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Queen's Crown, as he said, the 11 minutes, actually even no, the 10:55 between Xavier Woods and Ricochet was a longer match than all of the women's wrestling so far for Queen's Crown added together. Yes. It's ridiculous.
Well, let's do the math. Zelina Vega pins Toni Storm in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Thanks for your stay, Toni Storm. Here's a nice little spot on the bench in catering. Carmella beat Liv Morgan in 1 minute 40 seconds. Dumbest goddamn thing ever. Why is Liv Morgan constantly overlooked?
Yes.
I can't say. I'm stopping. Shayna Baszler pinned Dana Brooks in 1:25, which is that the shortest? I think that's the shortest.
So far.
Natalya is pinned by Doudrop. Get that girl a better gimmick. In 3 minutes. And then Zelina Vega, which is a horrible surprise to me. Not horrible. Bad surprise to me. Not bad. I don't know what to say. I'm not allowed to say anything. Zelina Vega beat Carmella in 3 minutes 25 seconds. I think there should be an asterisk on that. There was actually a half a minute of wrestling in that. The rest of it was Carmella running around acting like an idiot.
Yeah, she needed her mask, so she went out to get her mask, and then the ref counted, and she asked for a timeout, which there are no timeouts. There are no timeouts. So
that's classic heel move, though.
I know.
Ask for a timeout.
But then when she came back to her team that put her mask on, because she needs two people to put a mask on her face.
That's cloth.
That's cloth.
Totally cloth.
That doesn't protect shit. Liv Morgan was holding the mask. So also Liv Morgan outfit last night. Bravo. It was beautiful. When Carmella got back in the ring, Zelina, I think, rolled her up. I think that's how she beat her, was a roll up, and won. And I my jaw hit the ground because I was not expecting Zelina to proceed to the final round either.
So would you allow me to predict the winner of the Queen's Crown tournament?
Sure.
I have permission, so I'm going to do it. I feel that Shayna Baszler should win this tournament. I think the Queen of Spades should be the Queen's Crown winner, and that would be good for me. I mean, they're giving her the push. They're injuring some of their ne'er-do-wells, I guess. Not ne'er-do-wells. That's something different. Some of their undercard people that they want to hide for a while. Okay. The other thing that I would say is if Shayna Baszler does lose to Doudrop, which they're hyping up the Shayna Baszler versus Doudrop matchup with having her come out and help Dana Brooke and getting hit and just looking at Shayna like, why'd you hit me? And then Shayna being like, well, you should have went down because I'm a big guy and I'm the badass and you didn't do it. So they hype that up a little bit. And if Doudrop does get the win over Shayna Baszler, I think Doudrop should beat Zelina Vega, because if you make Zelina Vega the Queen's Crown winner, you're shitting on all of us.
Yeah.
Because you brought her back, she did nothing, and now you're going to push her for no reason.
Not only are you shitting on all of your fans, but you're also shitting on all of your other female wrestlers.
Yeah, they do that every day. They do that every week.
Well, yes, but I think she's entertaining on the mic. I think she was great as the manager of the tag team that I'm completely blanking on.
It was Andrade and
Angel Garza?
Angel Garza, yeah.
I think she's amazing that way. I think she's a little small.
A little small.
To be wrestling.
Yeah, if she stood up to the rope, she'd be blinded by the top rope. That's...
And I'm hopeful that it's not going to be Zelina. I'm kind of hoping that it's Dewdrop, but it's just because I find that I'm really entertained by her. I do want a little bit of a better gimmick to where she's not skipping out to the ring, but I think that she's going to be good. I think that she's going to be a contender for a lot of stuff.
For Girly Hour. It's Girly Hour. We're having Girly Hour. We're not allowed to say anything. So. What else you got? Because this is the section we said we were going to give you, and then we're gonna end the show. So you're in the show. So what do you got?
Okay.
Got anything else?
So let's see. A little while ago, it wasn't this last week, but I think it was the week prior. Maybe there was a contract signing right at the beginning of a show. Which stop that. But this one.
I agree. The entering contract signings are stupid, and this one was stupider than most.
So this one was Becky, Bianca, and Sasha. And none of them were... Bianca was in the ring. Becky was sitting at a desk. And
they wheeled out specifically for Becky and put in the entryway.
Yes. And Sasha was standing on the announce table. She looked amazing. I will say that. Her outfit was great. I think her husband does the designs on her outfit, and it was fantastic.
You do you, babe. This is why we give it to you. Go ahead.
But the contract signing, and I do this, and I'll tell you why in a minute. It devolved quickly into everybody fighting with everybody. Becky had gotten on the mic and was bad-mouthing everybody else because that's what Becky does now, and that's fine. I love Becky, but it's just too much for a contract signing. Just if you're going to do this on TV, please just give them a piece of paper, have them sign it, and have them fight on their way back to the dressing room while the rest of the show goes on, so we don't have to deal with that. But the thing that really aggravated me the most about this is after all of that and they devolved into this fight, they didn't sign a fucking contract. There were no contract signings. It was ridiculous.
It is kind of...
You're going to say that, yes, they did eventually sign the contract because they did it in backstage segments. So they did sign the contract in backstage segments. But there's two problems with that. The first problem is you promised people an in-ring signing and it didn't happen. And just chaos came from it. So what you did was you wasted our time. Then you did backstage segments to get people to sign a contract. You could have done that without the in-ring portion that didn't happen. Could have totally done that to get them to sign the contract, have them be the vignette signing the contract. But I would pose to you, if you have to make some sort of gimmick or some sort of story to make up for the in-ring contract signing, just stop doing it.
Right.
Just how many contract signings would you have to do? If you had to sign a contract to wrestle someone, that's on Raw 9 contracts that had to be signed. And you'd have to sign a contract every time.
Yeah.
So you're screw it. And I feel uncomfortable to talk about this because this isn't a women's wrestling thing. This is just a wrestling thing. So stop insulting people. I mean, there are a lot of people out there that are going to say, why do you care? It's like, because I need this to make logical sense because it's supposed to. That's the point of it. It's like going to a magician when he's got a card in his hand. He's like, I'm going to pick up your card. Look, I'm going to take your card and I'm going to put it in the middle. But then I'm going to open the deck up with this hand and manipulate it so I put it right on top so I know where it is. And there it is. Here's your card. But I'm going to say, okay, look at this. Reach your hand and, oh, look, that's your card. Ha. Let's just stop. I understand there are people that watch that and they'd be like, okay, I'm entertained by that. That's not your goal. Your goal is to keep entertainment for everybody who's watching. Asses in seats. That's sell tickets. Get as many people in the door as you can. Do business. Any other cliches I need to use? It's true. That's what you're supposed to do. And you're going to keep the million or so people that watch just because it's on. But you need to start looking at the other people who are only going to watch when it makes sense. The people that come back to wrestling after 5 years of doing something and I say, oh, wrestling's on. Let me see how this is. Oh, this is ridiculous. I'm never watching this again. Click. You need to get those people. AEW is going to get those people.
And speaking of AEW, that I actually stayed up.
You succeeded.
Yes, I succeeded in staying up to watch Rampage last night, which I don't normally reach because usually by 10 I'm already asleep about halfway through Smackdown. But I did watch the Ruby Soho versus Bunny match, and it was really good. I was very impressed with the whole match. I really like Ruby. I have always been a fan of Ruby, so I can't say anything. And she's from Lafayette.
Lafayette Nana.
Lafayette
Nana is what he said.
She's from Lafayette, which, Hoosier. Yay.
That's somewhat local.
And
we could drive to where she lived in under 2 hours.
yes. Yeah.
Barely under 2 hours, but.
And then at the very end of it, Penelope Ford came out, and Ruby was facing the ring. Penelope Ford came behind her and hit her, and it looked really good. It looked like she knocked her block off. And if she did knock her block off, I'm sorry that I'm saying it looked really good, but it looked really good.
Nah, it's great. She hit her with a blow from the back with a meaty part of her forearm. That makes it look great. That's somebody that knows what they're doing. Again, Penelope Ford is one of the best female wrestlers on television right now.
You've been saying that.
I know. And that's it. That's the only reason I'm saying that. Not that she's a pretty girl, not that she has large breasts or anything like that. The only reason I'm saying that is because she's good. She's really good. I'm not saying that she should be pushed for a championship because that's not how wrestling works, people. But she's really good. She's going to make anybody that's in the ring with her look good, and she's going to look good doing it. No brainer. Good people. Thunder Rosa, get it going. It's Britt Baker doesn't have the ring ability that I like because there's some parts there that aren't that great, but she more than makes up with it with charisma and mic skills.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And just general attitude, incredible. So these are the people that you can hang your hat on and keep going, and that's going to be the end of that diatribe because I'm breaking into a territory that I shouldn't break into. Sorry to whoever I offended by saying anything that I said there.
I think it's not offensive.
Yeah, you got anything else, or we think we wrap this guy up?
I don't have anything.
You got anything, Hammer?
It's good to be back.
That's cool.
I do have that to say. It's good to be back. Seems like it's been forever.
That's cool. I think sooner or later we're going to get to Jeremy back too.
That'll be even better.
Yep. Like I
You
said,
guys did a wonderful job, though, in my absence. I'm going to say that. I still watched. It was entertaining.
Yeah, I hope so. I tried to at least make it funny, and people shit on me for it, but still. Hoping to get Jeremy back sometime soon. I think, or Hank, we'll call him Hank. Like I said, I think he's got some work commitments that he has to go through, and we don't get paid for this. So like and subscribe. Make sure you smash that bell button. You know what I'm talking about, like those YouTubers like to say, and it's totally for you. But yeah, that's how we feel about it this week, and
we will see you guys again next week or the week after.
The week after, yeah.
One of the two.
We won't skip it.
Until then, be safe, and like I said, it's good to be back.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you, guys.
All right, see ya.